I noticed in your speech you mentioned how there was such a big difference between the illiterate mother and her daughter getting a doctor's degree, and within just one generation there was such a huge difference in terms of education and success. And I was thinking how Grameen would or could even be able to apply that to a different kind of poverty, the poverty caused by let's say genocide, such as in Darfur and along the border of Chad. There are just many people, refugees, who had lives in Darfur and have just been ravaged by genocide and need a way to get out of that. And how could microcredit eventually be applicable to that kind of situation?
People have to go through it. It's not that suddenly it became empty. As long as people need, they have to eat, they have to buy, they have to sell, and then they need the money. But the institutions are not there to support them. So you bring the institution to support them. So that particular aspect could be microfinance, so that you provide that, they can carry on their business, whether it's a refugee camp, whether it's a disaster area of some kind. So anywhere, wherever people need money. This is as simple as that. So you have to work it out in that circumstances.
You spoke of a shoe company and that shoe company being able to do green shoes. And I wonder if you might, in a general way, speak a little bit about what you see as the edges between commerce and ecosystems and how your organization is working with that and what you hope to see develop over time.
First of all, you are using resources. So in using resources, if it is a non-renewable resource, and if you are using it without any consideration, then you are damaging the future prospect, because you are using it up and next generation will never see it. Or if you are rich people, we are using up other people who don't have the opportunity to use it, they will never have the opportunity because you are using it up. So when it is a non-renewable resource, you have to be very careful. It's not only your asset. You think you have the money, so I'm doing it. They don't have the money, they don't get it. That's a very odd way of defining right to the non-renewable resource. It belongs to everybody. Just because I'm poor today, I cannot do it. You are using it up, that won't be fair. You have to keep it for me so that when I'm able or my children will be able, they will have their share. And it's not between us, also this generation and next generation and the next generation. So how much is for us, this generation, that we have to figure out first before we even talk about between us. The idea would be so that non-renewable resource can be spread as many generations as possible, and as many diverse people as possible, so that can be done. So this is one on the resource side. And the other one is which creates gas emission, greenhouse gas emission, so that we don't do that kind of thing. We restrict and reverse. Because together, as the global warming and all the problems that we talk about, the degradation that it brings to environment, every day the world would be more unsafe than it was on the previous day. But the real job, the real objective of us on this planet would be, we should be making the world more safe than we found it. And when I was talking about Grameen Danone, it's a very small company, Grameen Danone. The total investment is hardly $500,000. But when we are designing it, we had to be very careful because we said this is a social business. When they were discussing, we were discussing with Danone, I started asking what kind of container you'll be using for selling this yogurt. So they showed me, and I said, this is plastic. He said, yeah, this is plastic. I said, we don't want any plastic in a social business. So they were surprised because they said, all over the world, we use plastic container. And we never thought about this. No, here it has to be biodegradable container. They didn't have any biodegradable material. So I said, you better find it. So they went around, came back about 3 months later They were very happy. They found biodegradable material. They produced the cups. And I said, what is this? They said, this is cornstarch. And we found it in China. And then we made it. This is the cup. It looks beautiful. I said, can I eat it? He said, why do you want to eat it? I said, because poor people spending money on this one. If they have to throw it away, what a waste of their money. Why can't you make edible cups and put nutrition in it? So the children will eat the yogurt and you eat the cup and get more than nutrition. And they couldn't figure out how that could be. I said, look, when I buy ice cream, I get the ice cream cone. And I eat the ice cream and I cone. I love it. Why can't you think of something? He said, no, this is not a cone. Cone will not do that. I said, I know that. But that's why the scientists have to work on it. Why do you look for answer from me? I only raised the question. So they consulted among themselves. Finally, they said it may take about a year for our research people in Paris to come up with such a material. I said, you have to do it in 6 months. 1 year is too long a time. So they are working on it.
Great.
So now they like the idea because you have to raise the question. And the scientists were very happy that in Paris because they said, nobody asked us this question. So we never thought about it. Now you asked us a question, you gave us a challenge, we have to work for it. We have to find it. It's our challenge. So this is how we have to solve each one of them, how you got it. Thank you.
Thanks.
And the deepest crisis is also an exciting time because this is an exciting opportunity to create new. Poverty is an artificial imposition on human being. Why can't we create another kind of business? Business which will aim completely at others. In a social business yogurt company like Grameen Danone, you'll be asking, how many children got out of malnutrition this year? Fun of doing this, you overcome the impossible. And if you have designed and you have succeeded in getting 100 people out of welfare, then you have developed a miracle seed. You can take out millions of people out of welfare by planting this seed.